Episode 48. A Dangerous Sunrise. Meghna disconnected the phone and then tried to recall if she spoke even one full sentence in the 15-minute long conversation. Meghna had always shared a special bond with Rajni Di. Rajni Di was the eldest of the 4 siblings that Vishesh, Meghna's husband, had. Rajni Di had migrated to Australia in the 70s and had got exposed to a pretty modern setup of life. She supported Meghna's decisions to work and also delay having kids because of her career demands, in spite of protests by both Baba and Ma. But today that same Rajni Di had suddenly appeared to be such a stranger on the phone. See, Meghna, I've always stood by you all these years. I've had more faith in you than in Rishabh or Vedehi to look after Baba and Ma. But Meghna, this time you're taking things too far. You cannot support or encourage Riddhima in this. Something like this has never happened in our family. I know Riddhima is liberal and highly educated. She has always been a free bird. But you can't support her in having a relationship with the other female, the one you are addressing as a partner. Stop this at once, Meghna. Immediately find a good match and marry off Riddhima. Meghna understood that it was her sister-in-law Vedehi who had informed the entire family. Vishesh, her husband, and Vedehi were twins. Vedehi had always been jealous of Meghna and of their children, Riddhima and Ravi. She would keep a hawk eye on the two. And when Riddhima began to post a lot of pics and videos with a girl called Arunima, she smelled something fishy. She met Riddhima with the proposal of Brigadier Sharma's son, Major Sushil. But Riddhima's refusal to meet the guy and the presence of Arunima in her flat were enough to convince Vedehi of the truth. One night, Riddhima told Meghna everything. A little hesitatingly at first, but she confessed the entire truth. She explained how she and Arunima couldn't now think of living separately. Meghna's initial reaction was, of course, complete shock. She knew her daughter was liberal-minded and had never been tied down with any regressive cultural ideology. But was this okay? Was this the done thing? Was Meghna herself ready to be called the mother of a lesbian? Will society accept this relationship? Will the constitution of the country ever allow same-sex marriages? Will her daughter ever become happy in the real sense? Will Riddhima be able to have children? Meghna remembered watching a TV debate long back where it was said that lesbians and gays weren't allowed to adopt children in India. So was her daughter staring at a lonely life full of struggles and everyday battles? Meghna, a most sought-after celebrity interior designer, had always looked forward to designing Riddhima's Shadi ka Mandap, her clothes, her jewelry, and so much more. She had an eye on Kanjivarams and Banarsis and Sambalpuri saris, handicrafts, accessories, artifacts, gifts, everything. Well, I'll have to keep it for another life, what ends. Vishesh belonged to a family of very reputed lawyers. His grandfather was a Supreme Court judge. Vishesh joined his father's firm early on and had become recognized as the country's leading criminal lawyer. When he got to know about Riddhima's decision, Vishesh nearly exploded. "This is all you're doing, Meghna. You have put ideas into her head by making her read all kinds of bloody feminist novelists from an early age. You sent her to all kinds of useless societies and groups. That Picasso art circle and the dramatic society and book reading club and whatnot. Baba was so right. You should have sent Riddhima to some Indian traditional group as well. At least she would have learned some few good principles. This is the result when you don't instill Indian cultural values and traditions in your children. You encouraged Riddhima to embrace all kinds of Western ideas. And see where it has brought our daughter. While designing homes for celebrities, Meghna, you insist on decorating them with Indian handicrafts and tribal art and all that. Then why didn't you give the same training to your own daughter? What face will I show in the court? My colleagues and clients are all going to laugh at me. Oh God, Meghna, what a soup you have both landed me in. Meghna was too stunned to reply. Was she responsible for Riddhima becoming a lesbian? Just because as a mother she brought up her daughter as a free-thinking individual with a mind of her own, could Meghna be blamed for her daughter's sexual preferences? Meghna remembered how for a student exchange program, when she was apprehensive of sending Riddhima to the UK, it was Vishesh who had stepped in and had permitted Riddhima to go. Meghna wondered, why is it that when a father becomes liberal, he is always perceived as advanced, forward-looking and open-minded? But when a mother does the same, why is she labelled as overindulging, undisciplined and an opposer of our glorious culture and tradition? Vishesh began to withdraw from the mother and daughter gradually. He wouldn't take Riddhima's calls for the most petty excuses. He set up a routine for himself wherein he wouldn't come into contact with Meghna the entire day. He started frequenting the club after the office hours. Always known to be a family man who would insist on having dinner with the family, Vishesh's staying away from home set lot of tongues wagging. One day, after a long meeting with a Bollywood star, Meghna was having a cup of coffee at the Poet's Corner when she ran into Mrs. Roy, their neighbor. Mrs. Damini Roy was the Secretary of Women Startups of India. After some casual banter, she steered the conversation towards Riddhima. Meghna, I very well know आजकल की ये सब बातें, all this progressive advancement and inclusivity of all humans, etc. etc. ये बकवास है ना, कुछ सालों से ज़्यादा हो गया है. There are groups and communities that are openly supporting same-sex relationships. There are queer pride parades happening frequently. But that does not change the societal equation, Meghna. Our society has always considered such people as deviants and juveniles. And mark my words, आगे भी यही सोचेंगे. So take my advice, Meghna. Send Riddhima and that girl, her partner, to the US. There, even if they live together, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? कौन वहां देखने जा रहा है? Plus, Meghna, seriously, one day all of us have to go back to our maker. तब how will you face all your forefathers? क्या जवाब दोगे आप? पितृ दोष लग जाएगा यार फैमिली को. Next morning, Meghna received a very long message from Vaidehi. भाभी, think about Ravi यार, उसके बारे में तो सोचो. What will we tell the prospective bride's family? That his sister lives with another woman? एक काम करते हैं भाभी, let's take Ridhima to a very good psychiatrist. You know Jitesh Khanna, right? His son began to show such such gay type tendencies in the 11th grade. The Khannas immediately took him to this world famous psychiatrist at Kolaba. And guess what? Their son got cured. She is very expensive, हाँ भाभी? लेकिन भाभी, for Ridhima पैसों का कोई consideration तो है ही नहीं ना. Before Meghna could respond, Rishabh, her brother-in-law, also sent a long message. भाभी, we live in a society. जंगल में नहीं रहते हैं. We also have children and we attend marriages, engagements and such functions every now and then. तो हमको भी लोगों को बुलाना पड़ेगा. But now I'm afraid the reputed gentry will gradually begin to vanish from our homes. Our family has had such glorious history, Bhabhi. Now all of this will be seriously dented, yaar. Thank God Baba and Ma are not alive to witness this. They would have been so devastated. Natural death के पहले ही बेचारे मर गए होते यार. The sun had just made an appearance over the garden fence. Each morning Meghna watched the sunrise with a childlike excitement. It never failed to fill her with hope. But today's sun did not light up her morning with any positive vibes. It was a sunrise that heralded difficult, or rather dangerous time.